Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Raja Janardana Yasodhanandana Raja Janardana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janarangana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janarangana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janarangana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Shitanath Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Numa Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Bhutale Krishna Gopal Krishna Krishna Prabhupada Sasvaicham Yat Prakasham Vitivaja Pacharan Kivasha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnana Tirandasya Gyanan Gyana Shalakaya Chakshuro Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sapedevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Vipashindubhya evacha Patitanam papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vita, Raga, Vaya, Krodha, Matmaya, Mam, Upashrita, Bahava, Jnana, Tapasya, Puta, Matbhavam, Agata, Vitaraga Vaya Krodha, Manmayamang Upashrita, Bahavo Jnana Tapasya, Puta Madbhavam Agata, Vitaraga Vaya Krodha, Manmayamang Upashrita, Bahavo Jnana Tapasya, Puta Madbhavam Agata. Somebody else?
Vitaraga Vaya Krodha, Manmaya Mamupashrita, Bahavo Jnana Tapasa, Puta Madbhavam Agata,
Vitaraga Vaya Krodha, Manmaya Mamupashrita,
Krodha, Manmayamang Upashrita, Tapasya, Puta Madbhavam Agata. Mataji's. No one? No, two. Manmaya Upashrita, Bahavo Jnana Tapasya, Puta Madbhavam Agata. Okay, word for word meaning Vita, freed from. Raga, attachment. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, and anger. Matmaya, fully in me. Mam, in me. Upashrita, being fully situated. Bhava, many. Jnana, of knowledge. Tapasya, by the penance. Puta, being purified. Madbhavam, transcendental love for me. Agata, attained. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger. Being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me. Many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me. And thus, they all attained transcendental love for me. Purport. As described above, it is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Generally, people who are attached to the bodily conception of life are so absorbed in materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the Supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep this same bodily idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. For such materialistic men, the form of the gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider the Supreme to be impersonal. And because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality after liberation from matter frightens them. When they are informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming persons again. And so they naturally prefer a kind of merging into the impersonal void. Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubbles of the ocean, which merge into the ocean. That is the highest perfection of spiritual existence, attainable without individual personality. This is a kind of fearful stage of life, devoid of perfect knowledge of spiritual existence. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence at all, being embarrassed by so many theories and by contradictions of various types of philosophical speculation. They become disgusted or angry and foolishly conclude that there is no supreme cause and that everything is ultimately void. Such people are in a diseased condition of life. Some people are too materially attached and therefore do not give attention to spiritual life. Some of them want to merge into the supreme spiritual cause, and some of them disbelieve in everything, being angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness. This last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication, and their effective hallucination are sometimes accepted as spiritual vision. One has to get rid of all three stages of attachment to the material world: negligence of spiritual life, fear of a specific personal identity, and the conception of void that arises from frustration in life. To get free from these three stages of the material concept of life, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and following the disciplines, regulative principles of devotional service. The last stage of the devotional life is called bhava, or transcendental love of Godhead. According to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Canto 1, Chapter 4, text 15 and 16. The science of devotional service. Ado shada tato shadu shanga tat bhajana kriya tato narta nibriti shat tato nista ruchis tata ata shaktis to baba tata premadhyudan chari sadhakanam ayam premna padur babe babet krama. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master, and under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service. By execution of devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master, one becomes free from all material attachment, attains steadiness in self-realization, and acquires a taste for hearing about the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This taste leads one further forward to attainment for Krishna consciousness, which is matured in Baba, or the preliminary stage of transcendental love of God. Real love for God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life. In the prema stage, there is constant engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So, by the slow process of devotional service, under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, one can attain the highest stage, being freed from all material attachment, from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality, and from frustrations that results in void philosophy. Then one can ultimately attain to the abode of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vitaraga Bhayakrodha Manmaya Mam Upashrita Vabho Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhabam Agata. So here, the description of how ultimately we'll attain the supreme transcendental love of Krishna is clearly explained. So first of all, we have to be free from attachment, fear, and anger. Attachment. Our attachment should be dovetailed to Krishna consciousness, because at this very moment, mostly we are attached to sense enjoyment. It's very rare soul to find one that is not attached to material things. It's not attached to gratify the senses, the sense objects with the senses. Because to be on that platform of becoming detached from material things and attached only to Krishna, that means he is in the Brahma Bhuta platform. He does not have anything to lament for what he lost, and he doesn't hanker for anything that he does not have. The materialist is the opposite. They're always lamenting for things, especially what happened in the past, either loss of their family members. Just right now, I just received a message to pray for him. Somehow, because of having lost his mother. He says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Please pray for me, as I'm in very grief because my mom is no more in this world. I'm not able to bear the separation. And that's normal. Yeah. Someone whom we, our loved ones, family members depart or leave one's body, then will become affected. That we should not be attached to the bodily concept of life. Of course, affection is there, because if the person just left is so dear and near to us, then we become affected. But not to the point that we are became devastated, that we're not able to function, we're not able to do our useful practice of Krishna consciousness. On the other hand, we should become more determined, become more strong. So that is affection, because we are affected, but not to the point that we are so much attached that we lose everything. We lose our inspiration, we lose our taste for chanting the holy name. I met some of this kind of devotees that ultimately they stop coming to the temple. So are they attached to the body, or they felt heartbroken because someone just left? If we are attached to the body, then the result that we will perform will be negative. But if we understand that we are not this body, we're spirit souls, and my whole purpose is to reawaken my Krishna consciousness, and I should be more strong than ever. This is like a sign that I can leave my body any moment as well, so I must be prepared. So, within family members, it's all right to have an affection from each other, but not to the point that we'll become so attached that we think that, yes, what will happen to me now? I'm finished. I am done. That is attachment. Attachment to the things that are ephemeral. Ephemeral means temporary. Just like this body, or our family members, or our friends, or our loved ones. Attachment, raga. We should be free from raga. Let me see that here. Strong attachment to material life leads to negligence of spiritual life. But somehow when we visit, this happened to me in Mauritius. There's one Mataji, she used to come to the temple, she used to do so many service, but somehow one of his family members left and she stopped completely. So we went to see her, visit her, and she became engladdened. She became happy to see us. It's like, hey, what am I doing? It's like waking up to the real life. So from then on, after that, she started to come again and do some service. Who else will help the devotees who are in need? Also, only the devotees. There is a saying in English, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So we have to be caring, but not to the extent that we become attached. As here in the message in the Bhagavad Gita is, we should be completely dependent on the Supreme Lord. We should do our duty, but not to be attached to the result. It depends on the Supreme Lord. And whatever the result will be, we should accept the way as it is. And this considered to be mercy coming from the Supreme Lord. So to attain love of God, we have to give up this attachment. And also others, it says that they cannot understand the personal nature of the Lord as He is. as it is explained in the 9th sloka, just before this. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Janma karma chamedevyam evam yobiti tatvata chakva deyam punarjanma na itimam itis Arjuna. Just like the appearance day of Lord Krishna will be coming soon, in a few days' time. How many days? 3 days' time? Yes? 26. Today is 22nd. So yes, 3-4 days. So we're all excited. We're all cannot wait for that day. But we have to understand who is Lord Krishna. It is not just a celebration of an ordinary birthday. In Vrindavan, every day is a holy day, but some days they're very, very special. Just like recently we celebrated the appearance of Lord Balaram, and then in a few days' time it'll be Lord Krishna, and then in a few days' time it'll be Srimati Radharani. We are in the right place, so we should be in the right mood, in the right consciousness, in the mood of service, and understanding the nature of the Supreme Lord, His appearance, His activities, to be not an ordinary occurrence. It is divine, it is transcendental. And if we can understand that through hearing, we see right now Krishna through hearing. Of course, we see Krishna every day in their form as H.H.Bhakti form. But we don't have that full realization of His transcendental nature. So we have to, somehow or other, continue to do this. And for those who are too materially attached for sense enjoyment, then they'll not be able to understand Lord Krishna. This is a problem. This is disease. Problem means disease. If you have a disease, it's a problem, isn't it? You want to mitigate that, or you want to cure that, or you want to treat it in such a way that it will not be repeated again. It will not happen again. So, yes, one should not be attached. Strong attachment to material life is a hindrance. This is a degree of affliction, degree of suffering. Bhaya is mentioned here also. Bhaya means fear. We should be fearful, yes. We should be fearful. Fearful of not to come back again into this material world. Others, they are fear of personal spiritual identity. And therefore, because of that, they want to merge into the Brahma Jyoti. They want to merge into the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. Brahma Jyoti, that means that feature which is like the effulgence, the light emanating, or effulgence emanating from the form of the Supreme Lord. And that's why in the spiritual world it says there's no need of electricity, there's no need of moonlight, there's no need of sunlight, because everything is self-illuminated by the effulgence coming from the form of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it says here that because they are too absorbed in material bodily concept of retaining personality after liberation from matter, it frightens them. Matter frightens them. Prabhupada gave an analogy of the bubble from the ocean. When it bursts, then it becomes the ocean. It merges into ocean. So the impersonalists are compared to this. They are in fear of losing their identity. And therefore, they just want to merge. We will not lose our identity. This is the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, that we are eternally unique individual souls. That we are all fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Mamai Bamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We're also eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, but we became covered up, coming in contact with the material energy. And therefore, our real identity became covered up by the modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. But there is never a time, as Lord Krishna says, there is never a time that we will not exist. We existed from the past, we are existing now, and we will continue to exist in the future, even after this body is gone. And this is one of the disease again, that we're so attached with this body. Or extended wise, our family members. We should be attached to Krishna. We should be attached also to our service. Because each and every one of us is unique individual souls. So we need to find what is it that I can offer to Krishna. That special thing that I can offer to Krishna. We have to meditate, of course, and the most we can offer our chanting of the holy name to Lord Krishna. That is fine. You can offer yourself, your very self to Krishna. But again, all of us, certain abilities, we're all empowered up to a certain extent. So we have to figure out, what is it that I can do the very best to offer to Lord Krishna? Because not everyone is equal, so each and every one of us can find our purpose in life to serve Krishna. Some may be good in cooking, some may be good in management, some may be good in making flowers, in many ways. Flower garlands, or preaching, or in kirtan. So we have to find. But sometimes, some devotees, they're good in everything. All around. But this is very rare. But nevertheless, each and every one of us should find some ability that we can develop and make it so perfect that we can offer that to Lord Krishna. Another degree of affliction or suffering, or you may say hindrance to become fully absorbed in Lord Krishna, is that of krodha. Krodha, conception of void resulting from prostration of life. And there are three categories. Becoming angry, become angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness. Some devotees, they are like, have this kind of nature of always being angry. Have you seen a devotee like that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Ah. But that is his conditioning. That is not the real nature of the soul. How to get rid of that? He says you can get rid of that anger. That angry, we can be angry also. Anger can be used in Krishna consciousness as well. Like Hanumanji. He became angry. Or if the Lord is being blasphemed or a devotee is being criticized, we can defend them. We can fight for them. We can give up our life for them. Yeah. But if we're angry because of out of false ego, then that is a no-no. Isn't it? We should be angry. First of all, we should be angry at ourselves. Why I am like this? Well, a person who is in illusion due to false ego, especially those who are having some position, they will think themselves, hey, you know who I am? You don't know who I am? Why are you not listening to me? Actually, when dealing with the devotees, relationship is very important. Very, very important. That when we deal with the devotees, respect should be always there. Either to the juniors, or the juniors respect the seniors. Reciprocation must be there. So yes, the problem is that of taking into intoxications. People, they take into intoxications because they are frustrated in life. They think that by taking intoxications, they'll be able to cover up their frustrations in life. Actually, it becomes worse. One will become more and more depressed. Then, because of their taking of intoxications, just like what's that? I think, passing by, going to the Goshala this afternoon, there is this one person lying on the road, on the street. He looks like he's in trouble. He is in trouble. But because he is intoxicated, so he's not able to see the real situation. So he says here, accepting hallucination as spiritual vision. Call him later. Yes, they think that by taking intoxication and then hallucinating, as a result of that, this is a spiritual vision, but it's not. So they covered up. The anger is being covered up by that. If someone is frustrated, someone is not able to cope up with the present situation that they are in, then temporary relief, so to speak. So the solution to get free from this tree is that to take shelter of Lord Krishna. Krishna is our only shelter. We cannot find anybody else whom we can take shelter on. Srila Prabhupada, he was so humble. When he says, one time or another, he says, don't rely on me. You rely on Krishna. You depend on Krishna. You depend on me. I may let you down, but Prabhupada will not let down anybody. This is his humility. Our spiritual master will not lay down. He will not reject, or he will not have someone not to be given shelter. That's the duty of the spiritual master, isn't it? It's like the father. Children will go and ask help from the father, and the father will not let down the child. The spiritual master is the same. But we should not approach the spiritual master for material problems. But that is okay. We can ask if we have material problems. But mostly we should approach our spiritual master if we have spiritual problem. Yeah, but don't always approach with material problem. Guru is not meant for that only. Yes, both material and spiritual. But whenever you come to the spiritual master, you're always asking for things that materially related. Then that is not proper. We take shelter in the Supreme Lord. When we say take shelter, that means we want to have the mercy, the blessings, and so that we will have more and more room for improvement, so that we will be able to make more and more progress in Krishna consciousness, our only shelter. Lord Krishna. And we're also, if under the spiritual guidance of the spiritual master, there's another solution how to be free from these different afflictions, different problems. Take guidance from the spiritual master. Taking guidance from the spiritual master means following his instructions wholeheartedly, 100%. Not just I accept this part and I put the other part away. Like there is a condition. Yes, Guru Maharaj, but. Yes, Guru Maharaj, but. So as soon as we say but, that means you have a condition. Should be unconditional. Follow disciplines and regulative principles of devotional life. So we should continue this, following the instructions, the regulative principles, and disciplines in spiritual life. This is a very long purport, and we're not able to complete the whole thing because very soon Anugraha Prabhu will give the Gita, or not the Gita, Krishna Katha. Yeah, I think that's why you're all here, right? But we have to understand this philosophy first. First we have to understand Tattva, then we can understand Lila. So, but following this is about the different stages of Bhakti. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So many calls here. They know I'm in Vrindavan. When I'm in abroad, I don't get any of these calls. So, this is about because Krishna consciousness is a science. Prabhupada says here, the progress in Krishna consciousness is slow. Did you catch that one when I was reading the purport? Yeah? Did you? That means gradual. Gradual. Gradual, in a sense, it is slow. But it can be expedited also. It depends on our eagerness. It depends on our enthusiasm. It depends on our determination. But for others, I'll take my time. I have much more time. I'm still young. When I get old, I'll become more serious. But for now, okay. Slowly, slowly. No. As Rupa Goswami says, we should be greedy. Lobha. Lobha. We should be greedy in bhakti. Greedy in not the sense that you commit many offenses while you are doing service. Greedy to do your service. So it's a science. That means there is a certain process that we have to apply, and if we do it correctly, then we will reap the results. That means we will attain love of God. It's not that from Shraddha you jump immediately to Prema. There is Sadha, Ado Shraddha, Tatu Sadhu Sangha, Tato Bhajana Kriya, Tato Narta Nibriti, cleansing of the heart. We talked about this the other day in the appearance day of Lord Balaram, cleansing our heart. Lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. We have to control our senses, a sense of sight, a sense of touch, a sense of taste, a sense of the thoughts, everything. This is just the preliminary. Tatunarta nibriti sha tatonista. Then you become steady. Steady. Then you'll start to take the taste. Then atashakti, ashakti. Then become so attached. Steadiness, taste, then more attached. Then bhava. Bhava, the preliminary stage of bhakti. This is in the nectar of devotion. This Bhakti Ratsamrita Sindhu, Canto 1, Chapter 4, Text 15 to 16. This is the science of devotional service. This is, it could be a seminar. It's just letting you, giving you a hint or understanding. So I'll stop here. Is there any question or comment? Hey? Are you still all already free from all of this afflictions, attachment, fear, and anger? It says here, I'm gonna read the last sentence. In the prema stage, there is constant engagement in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Are we always constantly engaged? Or sometimes? Sometimes. Especially in Vrindavan, we should be always engaged. So by the slow process of devotional service, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, one can attain the highest stage, being freed from all material attachment. Because when we are always engaged, then we are actually cleansing our heart from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality and from the frustrations that result in void philosophy. Then one can ultimately attain the abode of the Supreme Lord. It seems like a long process, isn't it? Not really. Everything is here. Everything is inside. If we chant purely, if you chant attentively, and read Bhagavad Gita, and serve the Vaishnavas, and come for the morning program, and do some practical service during the day, then one can attain love of God, and he doesn't have to wait at the time of death. He can be even at this very moment. So please continue on what you're doing. We're all in the right direction? Are we in the right direction here to go back to Godhead?
Yes.
I think so. Especially we are in Vrindavan. What fortune we have attained from the past, I don't know. Especially us. We're milechas. Lower than Sudras, milechas, Yovanas. And you took birth in India, even from a Brahmana family. So you're very fortunate being here in Vrindavan. So take advantage. Always ask, what can I do for Krishna? What Krishna can do for me is the other way around. No, we should not ask like that. We should ask, what can I do for Krishna? What can I do for the devotees? Sometimes when we travel, we meet, Maharaj, let me know what can I do? What can I do for Krishna? What can I do for you? This is what we can do first for ourselves. Chanting purely the holy name, attentively. Then everything it'll follow. Everything will be properly situated. Okay, I will stop here now. I thank you very much. No question means everybody understood what's going on, right?
Yes.
Yes? Very good. Hari Om Tat Sat. Dhanyabad. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now, what you're waiting for?